Hello once again, ladies and gentlemen, this is Sid the Baker. Welcome to my kitchen. Today I'm going to do some chicken pies. This is a really simple recipe, couldn't be easier. Not going to say I'm a genius. Let's show you what we've got. We've got some frozen pieces of chicken. You get these from any freezer shop. Around about 1.5 kilo bags at the moment is around about £3. We're going to use half a bag of that. Then we've got some condensed chicken soup. And we've got some salt, and that's all you need. So we get the frozen pieces. If you want these to thaw out overnight and then put them in the slow cooker, that's fine. It'll just take less time to cook. But I'm going to put these straight in, frozen chickens in the slow cooker, put the lid on, put it on the high setting and leave it for 4 hours. And I'm going to come back to that in about 4 hours. Incidentally, ladies and gentlemen, if you've got any comments or any questions or anything you want me to make specially that you're not sure about, put the comments on the YouTube channel. I'll get back to you and we'll see what we can do. Meanwhile, I'll come back to that in about 4 hours. Thank you. And it's been around about 4 hours now, so we're going to see what the chicken's like. We'll just take the lid off. Yes, it looks nicely cooked. You just get a couple of forks and just get your chicken and just break it apart like that, and you see how easy that comes apart? That means it's ready and it's perfect for making the pies. So the next stage, we're going to drain this chicken off to get all the juice out of it, because while it's been cooking, all the fat and the juices have been running out into the bottom of the cooker. So we just put it on a sieve over the bowl and let it all run out. Now I've got two bowls. This is what I'm going to do now, because that is now drained. I'm just going to put that on there just to finish the last little bit of draining. And this juice, which is actually good chicken stock, we're going to put in a container. And what we're going to do with that is good chicken stock. If you can see, we're now getting a thin layer of fat on the top. So we're going to wait till that goes stone cold, and then we're going to put it in the fridge to get it even colder, and that fat will set solid. We can then lift that off the top, and what we do with that, we're going to mix it with birdseed and nuts and things, and we're going to put it outside for the birds. But the stuff underneath is really good chicken stock. So we're going to keep that. We're going to render it down a little bit in a pan just by putting it on the heat, and then we're going to put it in some ice cube blocks, put it in the freezer. Then when we want chicken stock, we can just get it out of the freezer, break the ice cubes off, melt them down, and you've got good chicken stock. So we've left it around about 10 minutes or so, and these chickens have gone cool enough to strip off. Now you'll notice this meat will fall straight off the bone. What we're going to do, we'll take the skin off, we're going to put it in that one there. We don't want the skin. Look how that chicken just falls off the bone. Basically, stripping this chicken down is going to take seconds, that's all. And we strip the good meat off. Like that. Now remember, when you do a drumstick, make sure you get that bone out. That is the needle bone. Make sure on every drumstick has got one of those. Make sure you get that out. Yeah, meat's already fell off the bone and just needs breaking up like that. This is a thigh, so just pull the skin off. See, it just falls apart. Falls apart in nice big chunks. Now, what you can do with this is the top tip. Because we're going to have all this chicken, and you don't need it all for pies, what my wife and I do, when this has gone totally stone cold, we break it up in little pieces like that, and we divide it up and we put it in polythene bags. And then the polythene bags go in the freezer. And once in the freezer, then they're ready to use as soon as you want them. So if you want chicken at short notice, you just get them out of the freezer, put them in the microwave, defrost them. You can have a chicken dinner, you can have chicken sandwiches if it's a nice day, or you can make some more chicken pies. Whatever you want to do, chicken curries, anything like that, the chicken's there, it's ready It's a cheap way of doing chicken, £3 for a bag, remember, and you've got all that chicken to do with whatever you want. Right, I'm just going to turn the camera off for a minute while I just finish stripping these down, and then we'll show you the next step. Right, so we've got the chicken in the bowl and it's all broken up, as you can see. The next stage, get your condensed soup. Just get the condensed soup and chuck it all in. There you go, just spoon it in. This will make your pie nice and moist. Because it's condensed soup, it's not going to run all over the place when you actually come to eat your pie. Now it does need a little bit of salt, but you need to taste it as well before you put too much in. So I'll just put half a teaspoon of salt in there. Now give it a good stir. And to give it a good mixing in. Like that. Ooh, you can almost taste how good it is just by looking at it. And there you go, that's your filling. That's your chicken portions, condensed soup, a little bit of salt. What could be easier than that? So there's your filling. Now then, the pastry. Short crust pastry, remember. If you look on the links, you'll find it on the videos, on earlier links, how to make short crust pastry. Got a couple of tin foils here. So first of all, we cut a piece of pastry off, just about enough to do one of the tin foils. Put flour down, pin it out. Again, if you check the earlier links with the other pies and things, you'll see what we do with rolling pins and all that sort of stuff. So, there we go, that's the pastry. Lift it up, put it on. Make sure you push all the air out of the tin foil or whatever you're using. Now don't forget, you can get various size tin foils. These are like 2 people tin foils. But if you go on the internet auction site and look up tin foils, you can pick whatever size and shape you want for whatever job you're doing. As I say, these are two portion ones. So we're going to put that in there like that. Just run the knife round. And then we're going to get a couple of spoons of this and put it in like that. Now, as well as doing chicken pies, you could do chicken and mushroom pies, you could do chicken and bacon pies. If you do chicken and bacon, just fry a bit of bacon on your frying pan, chop it up, put it in. Same with ham, just chop it up, put it in. Mushrooms, put a few mushrooms in a pan, fry them up, chop them up, put them in. Whatever you want to put in your pie, it's your pie. You can put whatever you want in it. I've just got a little bit of water here and a brush. What we're going to do, we just want to run the brush around there. And now we're going to do a lid. Now, the scraps of the pastry, if you looked on the other videos, check out the links, remember, look on the other videos, you'll see we keep the scraps on one side and then we put fresh pastry with it so that you don't get tough pastry. Always put your scraps, and don't work it in too much, you're only pressing it together. You don't move pastry around too much. Just keep it so that you're not working it too hard. Otherwise it will go tough and it won't be nice to eat. There you go, that'll do the lid. Now what we're going to do with that, I'm going to put it over the top, press it out and trim it around. A few holes in the top. Why do we put holes in the top? Because if it gets air in there, that air needs to come out, because when it gets warm, that air, it's going to expand, and if you don't make the holes in the top for the air to come out, it'll burst its way out of the sides and it'll take half of your pie with it. So there you go, you've got that. Now we just get a fork and we just go around the edge. This is just to make it look nice, really. So just go down the edge like that. There you go. Now what you can do now, you can get your brush, you can dip it in some milk or some egg and milk, and just wash it over the top. Let it rest for 5 or 10 minutes, because that pastry needs to relax now. If you just put that in the oven straight away now, there's a good chance it will just shrink down a bit. Let it rest for 5 or 10 minutes. If you don't want it straight away, put it in your freezer, get it out when you do want it. Because that filling is already cooked, it doesn't need to defrost. You can put that straight in the oven from frozen, because really all you need to cook is the pastry. So if you needed to cook that straight away, you can get it out of the freezer, straight in your oven. Right, we're going to leave that for now, 5 minutes, and then I'm going to put it in the oven. Meanwhile, I'm going to finish this one off, but I'll do that off camera and then it doesn't waste any time. Right, so we've been round about 10 minutes now, so we're going to put the pie in the oven. We've got 150 degrees on the fan oven. Now if you haven't got a fan oven, add about another 10 degrees and that'll make it round about the same. When we put it in, we're putting it in round about 1.5 to 2 inches from the bottom of the oven. The reason we do this, we want that heat from the bottom of the oven to come up through the tin foil and cook the bottom of that pie. If you have your pie too high up, the top of that pie is going to bake before the bottom of the pie. So by having it about 1.5 to 2 inches, that will bake evenly on the top and on the bottom. So we're going to leave it for around about 30 minutes, then we're going to check on it. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, it's been around about half an hour, so we're going to try this pie now. Here it is. Don't forget we had it just 1 inch or so from the bottom of the oven, and I'm fairly certain that that will be perfectly cooked underneath. Just turn the oven off. Right, just place it on there for a second. Look how golden brown that is, that's lovely. Right, I'm going to just turn it out onto this clean tea towel so you can see what it's like underneath. There you go, perfectly cooked underneath, no soggy bottoms here. So just put it back in there. Now I'm going to flick it over onto the plate. Now I wouldn't normally do this when it was hot, but I want to show you what it's like on the inside. Just cut that open like that. Oh, I can already see it looking lovely. Just look at that filling now, that's full of real chicken with a nice juicy stock to it. I'll just try a little piece. It's likely to be really hot. That is really tasty. Well, thank you for watching the video on the chicken pies, ladies and gentlemen. If you like what you saw, don't forget, like, share, subscribe, turn on your notifications, and then you get information about other stuff we're doing. Oh, incidentally, if you're wondering what we're going to do with that chicken stock, copy the links, because in a couple of videos time we're going to be doing pork pies, and the pork pies will have the chicken stock in them. I'll see you soon.